Alright, I'm now going to teach you how to blind solve a Rubik's Cube. I solved mine on my video in about 5 minutes and 22 seconds, I think I saw. It's not as hard as it looks, but if you can't solve a Rubik's Cube normally, just by memorizing the algorithms and looking at the cube and solving it, I recommend you don't try this. This is for advanced solvers. I wasn't even sure if I could do it, but I just practiced over and over again. I actually only learned it in a day. It's not that hard. It took me probably just the whole day, and I got it. It wasn't too hard. Stayed up really late that night and learned it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach you how to solve a Rubik's Cube. The Rubik's Cube blind solve is broken up into 3 steps, and you have to memorize 4 algorithms. Two of them are very similar, both used in the first step. Alright? So this is the first step for blind solving a Rubik's Cube. This is the first step for solving a Rubik's Cube. Alright, most of you have probably learned with the green on top. Like how to solve normally. Like use the green cross. Sorry, my camera's moving. The cord is in the way. Most of you have probably learned the green cross method. Green cross, corners, edges, like that. You're going to do it entirely differently. And I learned with the green cross method, but when I learned to blind solve, I learned with white on top. It just makes it easier for me. You can use whatever color you want. Once again, it doesn't matter. All you need to know is, if you're going to do green on top, you have to know that blue is on the bottom. Or if you're using some cube that's not designed by the Rubik's company, then I think yellow's below green on certain cubes. But the most common one you have to remember, if you're using green on top, blue is on bottom. So I'm using white, so I have to know yellow is on bottom. I've done this a lot, so I know yellow is opposite of white. So, your first step in solving the Rubik's Cube is orienting the corners. Orienting is different than placing. If you place a corner, such as this one, this is a blue, orange, white. So that would go over here. It would go right here. Okay? That's placing the corner. Like this. I've just placed the corner. The blue, orange, white corner is on the blue, orange, white side. But that's not orienting. The first step is orienting. Basically taking this corner. It's a pretty long algorithm, but basically you have to... I guess I did the wrong algorithm. I did the wrong algorithm, sorry. I'll do it again. Like this, there we go. I did it wrong the first time. Sorry. This corner is now oriented. It is turned correctly. Although it's not in the correct spot, it's oriented. It is turned correctly. Okay, I'm going to scramble this up a little more. I recommend, if you're learning this, go through these steps a couple times with your eyes open. Then try to put a couple pieces together with your eyes shut, and then eventually you can do it with your eyes shut all the way through. So, the first step is orient the corners, and to do that, I'm going to teach you two algorithms. This is the first one. That algorithm I showed you, what it will do is it will take this corner and turn it clockwise. Alright? And it will not disturb any of the other pieces. Most people will say that's impossible. You cannot have one corner or one edge be turned out of place. You're right, it can't be. Which is why this corner also moves too. If you perform the algorithm, it will take this corner, turn it clockwise, and it will take this corner back here, and it will turn it counterclockwise. But all the other pieces are going to remain the same. That's the key. So when you first solve when you first blind solve, you have to know which way you have to turn the corners. You're going to have to get used to 2 things I'm going to say now. 2 new things of terminology. This is called the buffer zone. Basically, it's where you're going to place your the selected corner or edge that you want to change or move or whatever. And there's also, I'm not sure if this is the actual name for it, but I call this the undisturbed zone, which is a series of cubes that you cannot move unless you're performing an algorithm. This is the undisturbed zone. This is the buffer zone, this is the undisturbed zone. When you're solving it, blind solve, you will first have your buffer zone on the top left closest to you. So this one. And the undisturbed zone is going to be the one directly behind it. You are not going to do anything to move this cube, which means you can't turn this layer, you can't turn this layer, and you can't turn this layer. But you can turn right, front, and down. Okay? You are allowed to turn that. So what you're going to do, you're going to ignore this. Just as long as you don't move it, you can ignore it and do what you want. You're going to look at the first cube. Yours may not be like mine, but you're going to look at it. Now, since white is on top and yellow is on bottom, I'm going to look for either white or yellow on this piece. Alright? And I have white right here. So what I do is I perform the algorithm I showed you, which turns it clockwise. This cube is going to go clockwise. So white's going to go on top, green's going to go over here, orange is going to go over here. Okay? Perform the algorithm. And just like that, you see this corner has now been oriented. These two corners have not been disturbed. And if you've noticed, nothing else of the cube has been disturbed except for this back corner. You may think, okay, this back corner is undisturbed, I have to change something. No. Or you're going to think that since this corner is now solved, you're going to have to change it with another corner. No. Do not move this corner. Leave it there the whole time. Okay? Next, what you're going to do is you're going to orient the other corners. This one has to turn counterclockwise. This is a different algorithm that I'm going to show you now. By now you probably see why these two algorithms are so easy to remember. I've memorized these probably in 5 or 10 minutes. I don't even really consider them to be two algorithms, and you're going to now notice why I put the parentheses around some of those. It's because all they do is they swap, so you know what you're doing. So that one I just showed you is the counterclockwise method. It's going to take this corner and turn it counterclockwise. I don't want to do that because this corner is correct. It may not be placed correctly, but it's oriented. You only care if it's oriented right now. Here's the next corner. It's not oriented correctly. So you're going to look at it like this. And remember, you can't turn the top, the back, or the left, but you have to get this corner over into the buffer zone, which is this one. The only real way to do that would be to take your front and twist it like that. This corner's now in the buffer zone. Now, if you look at it, you would say, this corner, you don't have to do anything, it's solved. No, because if I twist it back, remember, it's not. It's if it's solved in relation to its location, where it is. So you turn the front into the buffer zone, it has to go counterclockwise. So you perform the algorithm. Like that. You may say, okay, that's not solved. What you do is you take the front and twist it back. Alright? This corner was originally here, and that corner was originally there. Now it is turned counterclockwise, and it's turned correctly. So technically you are done with this corner. This corner has to be turned. If you notice, this one doesn't have white on it. It has yellow. It's yellow, orange, or yellow, green, and red. Okay? And since there's no white, you would say, well, there's no way to orient it. No, because yellow is on the bottom, I have to orient it so yellow is on the top of this piece. Okay? Remember, I can't move back, left, or up. So I have to get this corner over here by going like this. Turning this layer, and then this layer. And this is the corner I wanted to turn. Alright? I have to turn this counterclockwise. Although if I look at it like this, looks like I have to turn it clockwise. No, counterclockwise. It's in relation to where it's supposed to be. Okay? No, where it originally was. So look at, do the counterclockwise algorithm. Alright? Now this corner is turned. Twist it back into its original location. This one. Alright? I don't have much time. I'm going to have to leave. I'll put more videos of blind solving. Thanks for watching.